Will the Twisted Metal series be good? Are the bottled Starbucks drinks good? And when is the spinoff of the Boys series premiering? Well, I talk about all that and more on this episode of the Toddcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toddcast. As always, I'm your host, Todd McManus. On this hot summer day, it is yet another ungrueling summer day here in Louisiana. But going ahead to dive in some news here. I just wanted to go ahead and dive into it, of course. Deadpool 3 has been filming, if y'all haven't known that. Deadpool 3 has been filming, and I am becoming more and more excited about that because, of course, last year or like the beginning of this year, sometime between that time, that it was announced that Hugh Jackman will be returning as Wolverine in the third Deadpool movie. And that is, of course, very exciting as well. And everybody I know everybody is looking forward to that. So, they have shown a picture of them filming, and Deadpool is wearing, his red and black suit. The red is a lot more brighter, if you know that. And Hugh Jackman, dressed as Wolverine, is standing next to him. And he is wearing the good old blue and yellow. And seeing that is it just wows me on its own. Because having not only Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine, but having him dressed in the yellow and the blue with Deadpool in a movie that's actually happening, like, that's just wowing in itself, But yeah, I'm excited for it. I don't know exactly what's going to be the story or what's going to happen, but no matter what, I definitely know it's going to be a funny movie, a good movie. It is rated R, and I think it's going to be releasing, I want to say next year, but I'm not too entirely sure. I do not know, and with, all these strikes happening, I don't even know if it's ever going to come out soon enough. It will, I hope, eventually, but I do not know. So, yeah. Also, I want to speak on The Boys. There is a spin-off series happening based off the Boys universe that is going to be titled Gen V, which, if you have ever watched the series on Amazon Prime, The Boys, there is this like blue serum type stuff, how like Captain America and Marvel took the super soldier serum. It's basically that, but in The Boys, it gives you superpowers. So you can get, flight, super strength, laser eyes, cold breath. Literally any superpower you could think of. They take it, and then that's what gives these people powers. And so they apparently, for this series, in the show anyway, that there is this like entire college dedicated to students and people and younger people, which are 18 to 22 year olds or older. There is this entire college that has taken this drug, I guess you could call it, this serum, and each of them have different powers. And that's the show. That's it. It's just basically a bunch of super-powered college kids in a spin-off series called Gen V, and it is going to be premiering on Amazon Prime in September. I do not know exact day, but they did say it will be in the month of September. I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, The Boys in itself is a really good show. If you've never seen it, you should check it out if you have Amazon Prime. But this show is, it's going to be rated R for sure, but it's going to be gross, if you want to call it that. I just know that it's going to be, off-putting or bloody, nasty, whatever you want to call it, because, it's The Boys rated R, with the blood and the gore and the violence, and the provocativeness of it, mixed in with younger people, and especially college, which is college in itself. Just take out the superpowered people. College in itself is already nasty. But adding superpowers to all of these teenagers and young adults, that's, it's going to be wild. Like, I'm going to watch it, and I'll definitely let y'all know how it is. But it's definitely going to be a show that's like, you need to be at least like 16 or 18 years old to watch this show, because it's going to be that bad. I just can already know. You can imagine it. You can think of it. I already know it's going to be like that. So, also a new series that is going to be premiering on what day? On July 27th, which is next week. As of this episode, it'll be next week. July 27th over on Peacock is going to be the series Twisted Metal, which is based off of the Twisted Metal video game series. If you ever played those games or have heard of them, I have actually played one of those games, and it was pretty fun. You drive around a car, and you basically like this big demolition derby, and you got guns on the car, and you're like shooting at the other cars, and you're trying to take them out and kill them, and and win, be the last one standing with the most lives or whatever, and it's a fun game. The one I played anyway. But they have made a Twisted Metal series. It actually has Anthony Mackie in it. He plays the lead character, and he is actually, you may know him because he's the same actor who plays the Falcon, or the new Captain America in Marvel. And I'm excited to see how this show is going to turn out. I don't know if it's going to be good, bad, if it's going to be great, if it's going to suck. I don't know. But it's going to be a series over on Peacock premiering on July 27th. And there's just a lot of shows premiering soon, because I also want to talk about another show that's premiering soon. I think it's actually in August, is the Ahsoka series over on Disney Plus. The new Star Wars series, Ahsoka, is premiering on August 23rd. And they put out like a full release trailer not too long ago, and I am very excited of watching it. Grand Admiral Thrawn is going to be the main villain, and if you know anything about Star Wars lore, that is a big deal. And it just looks good overall. And Star Wars Rebels, an older Star Wars animated show that was back in the day, that I actually did watch whenever it first premiered, and I watched it all the way through. There's characters from that animated show that are going to be in this show, and Ahsoka is going to be a live-action series with real people. It's not animated. I think it's just going to be good, and I think it's going to have, I don't remember how many episodes, but it's going to be, I think, episodes 1 and 2 are going to premiere on the same day on Disney Plus on August 23rd. So I'm looking forward to that, of course. We're only a month away from that series premiering, and it's going to be really good in my opinion, and I think it's good because, we're kind of, it's still like in the Mandalorian universe, I guess you could say, or this universe that they have created with these shows, with the Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, in the same vein as these shows, I guess you could say, with the many seasons of the Mandalorian that there have been now, and the one season of Book of Boba Fett, which was still about the Mandalorian somehow. But this is still around there, and I guess they're like building up this team to fight against Grand Admiral Thrawn, and I guess like that's the way it looks like to me, is that they're going to do all these series, and then the final moment of this story is going to be like a movie that's actually going to premiere in theaters, and that's what's going to be, the culmination of basically like their Avengers style moment of a big team up moment with all these Star Wars characters fighting to go fight against Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's what I think is going to probably happen. And I'm looking forward to it. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a great thing that's going to happen. Like I just said, I'm looking forward to it. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen, actually. So, with all that being said, I think it is now time to go into some questions. I've got 2 questions here from the viewers and the listeners. Not the viewers, because you can't see anything. From the listeners. The first question I'd like to go through is, do you think anything will happen with the Prime Energy fallout by the government over the caffeine content? God, that's a long question. So if you don't know, there was this, I guess it was in Canada is when it was where it happened. There is this thing that they have said, I think it was like a week ago, that the Prime Energy, or the Prime company, which is owned by Logan Paul and KSI. I like Prime hydration drink. I don't drink the energy drink, and I hardly ever drink any of the sticks. But the regular, Prime in a bottle, I like it. It's barely any sugar or no sugar. I don't even remember. And it just tastes good, no caffeine, no nothing. But the energy drink has apparently 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is like 5 times the amount of a cup of coffee. And they're wanting to look into that apparently because they think, because since this drink is marketed towards kids or younger people, and that can, if you drink one or just one actually, or more, but depending on how many you drink, it can lead to heart conditions, or even if you drink a bunch of them, it'll cause a heart attack, what happened many years ago when somebody drank 3 Monsters back to back and they had a heart attack because it's so much caffeine. But I was looking at these other drinks the other day, and they also had 200 milligrams of caffeine in the energy drink, even though I've never heard of this energy drink brand. Not Prime, I'm talking about a different brand. I've never even heard of this other brand before, but they also had 200 milligrams in their can, which the can was bigger than the Prime Energy can. Because a Prime Energy can is basically the size of a Red Bull can. I might review Prime Energy one day on here. I'm not big into energy drinks, but it's basically because I review at least 1 to 2 things because I try to, keep it going. And having 2 energy drinks, my thing with energy drinks is I'm afraid I'm going to end up liking it and wanting to drink more of it when I know, since it has literally a crap ton of caffeine in it, that I don't really want to drink it, because it's going to, not make me feel good. Every time I drink an energy drink, I either get super hyped up or just a massive headache. That's the only 2 options. There's not an option where it's nothing happens. It's either get you going, which is how it's supposed to, or I'm just a massive headache. It'd be like drinking a bunch of alcoholic drinks and you don't even get drunk. You just skip all that and you go straight to not blacked out, but you go straight to a hangover. You drink a bunch, you don't even feel anything, and then you're like, man, I gotta lay down. That's me with energy drinks. I don't get any of the middle part. I drink the drink and then I feel bad, and that's it. That's literally all that happens. There's no middle ground. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is apparently. So, but to answer your question, do I think anything will happen with it? Honestly, I feel no. I don't think they're going to take away Prime Energy unless something really happens. There was and what was funny is that they said this in Canada. It was some Canada government official or something said this. And the weird thing is, I don't even know if Prime is available in Canada. So, I don't know if they were just looking into it because they need, government officials need something to always yap about, or if it actually is available in Canada and I just don't know. But from my knowledge, I thought it wasn't available up there. If it is, then, it makes sense, I guess, why they would call it out. But if it's not, then, like, it's a little weird, But I don't think anything too drastic or too big will actually happen with this. I mean, there are many people that enjoy this drink. I don't enjoy the energy drinks. Like, I've drank them and they taste good. It's just I'm not that big in energy drinks. Like, I might have finished one can of Prime, but then, like, that's the only can that I'm going to do, actually, of the Prime Energy. But I'm that way with every energy drink. That's just not just towards Prime Energy. That's towards all energy drinks as a whole. So, and I don't like coffee. I mean, if y'all listened to the last episode I did with Jaren, I think y'all could tell that out whenever we tried the mocha Kit Kat flavor. And if you haven't listened to that one, you definitely should, because that was quite the gem of an episode. So, yeah. To answer your question, basically, I don't think anything's going to happen too drastically. I think they said that, and it's probably either going to blow over, or they can try to take action, and then I guess Prime Energy would just have to, like, do something with their marketing, or they would have to try something differently, I guess. I'm not too entirely sure what they would need to do. But at the end of the day, I don't think anything too big is actually going to happen. So, yeah. So, thank you for that question, though. It's an interesting thing that has happened. So, the next question I have here is, was there a movie, series, or video game that made you emotional? Oh, man. Let's think here. So, I feel like there's at least one of each of these. I mean, I'm not a crier. I don't really cry that much. I don't watch a sad movie and then just start bawling my eyes out, There have been very few things in the entertainment world of movies, shows, series, all that, and video games that I have actually, like, gotten somewhat emotional. I don't think I cried, but I do remember feeling it. Like how it's like it's that weird middle area where it's like you're not actually crying, but you do feel, like, sad on the inside when something happens, where you're like, oh, or something like that, I do remember feeling that feeling whenever it was the end of, I think it was Fast and Furious 6, whenever they had that whole scene of Paul Walker and Vin Diesel driving off away from each other. Because I watched that movie in theaters whenever it came out, and I remember, like, that movie, it got a lot of people. Like, you could definitely hear people, like, sniffling and feeling it, because, I mean, Paul Walker was dead, in real life, and they had him basically drive off into the sunset separately from Vin Diesel, and it was an emotional moment. And, like, I mean, I didn't cry, but, I could feel it and be like, oh, and they were playing, that See You Again song, which is just meant to be a sad song. I mean, I don't really get, like, if I watch a series and somebody, like, you get attached to and then they get killed or something, that's not really something that, like, I get too attached to, where it's like if somebody dies in a show, I'm not like, oh my gosh, why? I wanted that person to live, There may have been a few times, but, like, that's not, like, a big thing for me. Like, if somebody's going to get killed or something in a show, most of the time I can probably just see it coming and be like, okay, they're acting way too nice, or they're being on TV way too much, they're probably going to die, especially if it's not the main character. And then if they do a twist and have somebody else get killed, then I'm like, whoa, I'm not really like, oh man, like, I'm not bummed out about it. The only thing with series is when they end is my thing, because there's been, a couple of shows that I have watched that I would like to continue, or I would have liked them to be longer. Like, the ending they had either was good, or it was worth it. But I wanted, like, more in the middle, I guess you could say. Because, like, the beginning, you know, that's how it had to start. You can't really change that. But if there was, like, more middle story, or if there was, like, a show or movie taking place, like, years after. Like, I remember the first time watching Friends, and yeah, it was 10 seasons long, but that last episode happened in, like, 2003, 2004, one of those years. And now here we are in 2023, you know, around 20 years later, and I really thought that there was going to be a show or a movie come out that would have been, like, what happened after that, you know, like, what happens after. But the way it ended is that, you know, their story ended, and they left that apartment, and then that was it, you know. Another show for me was, I don't even remember how old I was, but it was Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I remember watching the season finale and being like, this cannot be it. Like, this is a great show, and I love that show. Avatar: The Last Airbender has got to be, like, top 5 series of all time. And the show is amazing. The show is great. I love it. You know, I'm very excited and proud and glad that they're making, you know, a new, like, a live action remake on Netflix. They're going to be making either a show or a movie about the original group from the show that's animated. And I think it's also going to be on Netflix. And then there's going to be some other show or movie dedicated to Zuko. Like, and there's a new show that's going to be coming out eventually that's going to take place after The Legend of Korra. And I watched that show, and I don't remember a lot of it. But I feel like I did not like that show because it wasn't The Last Airbender, is why I don't think I liked it. Because it wasn't the same, and I couldn't get hooked to it because it was like, oh my gosh. I felt like they were either repeating things that had happened in the other show, try to make it good, or they were trying, like, too hard to do stuff, and I just couldn't like it. Like, I definitely need to, like, rewatch it, because, like, I don't know. It was, I remember it coming on and being excited for that show, and then it happening, and I watched it, and I just remember, like, not being excited for a new episode, but it was like, I've got to watch this because I've already started this show. And I felt that, you know. But yeah, I remember watching it, I guess you could say watching it live. I remember watching that series finale of Avatar: The Last Airbender, sitting on the couch in the living room, just watching it as a kid. I don't even remember when the show, I gotta look it up now. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because I remember watching it. When was the last episode? That's what I want to know. Show me. It was only 3 seasons. That's what also was interesting to me, because it, like, the last episode was only a 3-season show, but yet it's, like, so memorable, you know, for everything that it did and for a great show that it was. Alright, we're on Wikipedia. We're going to go to episodes, if this would load. Here we go. Episodes. Let's go to season, or book 3. It premiered July 19th, 2008. Holy cow, really? No way. I mean, this show did premiere in 2005. I cannot believe I watched this when I was that young. I still remember, like, it's a core memory for me watching this show, the last episode that happened, which I assume was Sozin's Comet, well, not the Comet, but, I mean, it could have been I think it was the Comet, actually. Sozin's Comet, part 1, 2, 3, and 4, all premiered on July 19th. 2008. I was 8 years old when I was 8 years old when I watched that, and I still remember it. I'm 23. I remember watching that when it happened 15 years ago. Almost to the day, because it was July 19th and this episode premieres July 22nd. 15 years. And I still remember, like, where I was sitting, where I was watching it. I was alone in the living room for some reason. Like, this isn't a fever dream or a dream or anything like that. I remember. It was like my parents weren't in the room, and I was watching this, and I guess they were outside or something. And I remember just watching this last episode, and I was like, I gotta watch this. And I was 8 years old when I watched this. Like, it was such a memory for me. Just sitting there and watching it end. And then I remember it ending, and I was like, there's only 3 seasons. I was like, that. And as an 8-year-old, I was saying this, that can't be it. This can't end. It's a great ending, and I actually did rewatch Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think it was like last year. I rewatched all of the episodes, and it's still great storytelling, and it's just a great story overall. But I remember I wasn't like crying or anything when it ended, but I do remember it like happening, because it was such a core memory, like I've said, because it's so ingrained into my brain that, like, I will never forget that. I mean, I haven't. I still remember every moment, and I can still picture it on the TV in the room and sitting there, and like, we ain't even got the same TV or the same couch anymore, and in my parents' living room, and it's still stuck with me, because it's still such a great show and such a great moment in my life. And like I said, I was 8 when this happened, and now I am 23 years old, still remembering this. So yeah, that was on the series side of things. Like, many of it don't really make me emotional. It's just that, like, shows will end, and I think that there should have been more in the middle. Like, and sometimes they'll end and there's more story to tell. The same way with Avatar. With video games, I mean, not really. I mean, I can't really remember, like, a game making me cry. I don't think any game made me cry. I remember, this is going to be a weird answer, because anybody who plays video games in the gaming community, I guess you could say, is going to say this is a bad game, and it gets a bad rep, but I very much enjoy this game. And it was Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. I remember playing it for the first time and playing through all of it, and I really enjoyed it. I still really like that game. And I remember playing it, and I remember it, like, the companion you had in the game, like, you couldn't get them back because she was, like, gone or something, and, like, that hit, because I was like, oh, come on, why are you leaving? Why are you leaving me? Like, that's the way I felt in that when I was playing it, because I just couldn't believe. I was like, this can't be happening. I was like, this is a game. You're supposed to shape it the way you play it. So why is this happening? But it's a great story overall. I really enjoy it. They're apparently, like, remaking Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. I am excited for that game to happen, and I might end up just playing, like, through all of the Metal Gear games, honestly, because I've never played, like, all of them, but I know I've played this one, The Phantom Pain, and I definitely think I've played another one at some point, but I don't really remember. But overall, I think they're pretty good games. So yeah, I don't get too emotional watching this kind of stuff. I mean, I might feel it, but I'm not gonna bawl my eyes out unless something else happens later this year or something. I'm gonna go watch go watch Oppenheimer or the Barbie movie and just bawl my eyes out. Or some other movie or something. I don't know, It's got to be really good and, like, really the music and get emotional and that kind of stuff for actually, like, for it to get me. So, yeah. So, thank you for those questions. And if you want to submit a question, there's a link down in the description of this podcast episode. You can tap or click on that. It'll take you to my YouTube channel and comment your question or a drink or food item or candy that you would like for me to review on a future episode as well. And speaking of that, I have 2 drinks that I'm going to review right now. So we're going to go ahead and dive into those. If you want to see a picture of these drinks, if you want to review them or try them yourself, go to Toddcast official Instagram page, which is _Toddcast_. That is only on Instagram, of course, not on Threads or Twitter or Facebook or anywhere else. That is only on Instagram. And, excuse me, we have got these 2 drinks. I'm going to go ahead and give them a try. So, these are the Starbucks drinks. I'm going to give them both a good shake. These are the Starbucks drinks that you can buy at Target. And they probably have them at other places, but I definitely know that they have them at Target because that's where I got these. These are the Starbucks. I'm going to just try this first one. The Starbucks pink drink, the strawberry acai flavored with other natural flavors, and it has coconut milk. So, okay, I got a hint of strawberry when I smelled it. Okay. So, strawberry acai Starbucks pink drink. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Oh, send a chill down your spine. Good Lord. Gross. I don't know if it's because I've had it for a few weeks, if it's gone bad, or All right, well, that is gross, if you want to try it. That is, it's milky, but it tastes like bubble gum. It actually really does. My fiance, she has tried these, and she said both of them taste exactly the same, and they both taste like bubblegum for some reason. And that's discerning with the next flavor I'm going to be trying, but it does kind of make sense with this one. I'm going to drink some Diet Coke to get that flavor out of my mouth. On the scale of 0 to 100 with no decimals, I mean, I got to give this like a 40. This is not good. I do not like that. It's milky, but it don't taste like milk, but it has the consistency of milk, which is like thick, but it tastes like bubble gum. So it just, in my brain, I'm just thinking like, why am I drinking medicine? Because it's thick and gum flavored. So it's like, why am I drinking Pepto-Bismol? It's nasty. I don't recommend it. If you want to try it, be my guest, because it is not good. So, the next flavor and next drink is the Starbucks Paradise drink, which is pineapple passion fruit. So, this also has coconut milk in it, so I already know this is not going to be good, because coconut water is way better than coconut milk. Because I think Prime has coconut water. It's 10% coconut water in it. And water is way better than the milk, because this is not good. Because if you want a drink that's the consistency of milk, just go get milk. You don't need to drink this mess. Does it smell the same? Oh, it smells exactly the same. Is this just the same thing, but yellow? Alright, well, here we go. Here is the Starbucks Pineapple Passion Fruit Paradise drink. Oh. Ugh. Ugh. I couldn't even swallow it. Ugh. Oh. Ugh. Okay. I had Diet Coke. I feel better now. That's a 20. I mean, at least the strawberry one I could swallow and get down, but this is just gross. Why is this a thing? Why does Starbucks fail so bad? If you go to Starbucks and get the strawberry acai drink, which I have, it's great. I like it, I don't like the actual strawberries in it because then it's just a bunch of seeds up in your teeth and everything, So if you get it without the actual real strawberries and you just get the drink with the flavoring, it's really good. And so I've even done like it blended up, and it's kind of like a icy kind of, that consistency. And that's really good. But this, on the other hand, these two drinks suck. Like, it's very bad. These both need to be thrown in the trash. Because these are not that good. I do not like it. If you like coconut milk, which I don't, apparently, according to this. If you like coconut milk, you might like it. If you like anything that's the consistency of milk, but tastes like gum, no matter what it looks like and no matter what flavor it's supposed to be, then you'll like this. So, strawberry acai pink drink is a solid 40. And the Starbucks Paradise Pineapple Passion Fruit drink is a very low 20. So yeah, these are not good. I'm definitely going to have to just go ahead and go get something to eat or drink something, because good Lord, that is not that good. So yeah. Thank y'all for listening, and if y'all have any drinks that are better than this that you want me to review in the future, please comment them down below in the YouTube version. And as always, please rate and subscribe. And if you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. And follow the Toddcast on Instagram for all your updates and Toddcast needs. Tell your friends and family to give it a listen, and thank all of you for listening to this episode. And if you want to know what's going to happen next week, we just got to tune in to find out. Only on the Toddcast.